Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin dropped a bit at times to below 39k, just around the weekly candle close. We're going to take a look at that in detail, and as I said yesterday, and I think also in the live stream and in my last Bitcoin update yesterday, in the last few weeks we always saw some volatility around the weekly candle close. We can take a look at that as well. But that is what happened in the last few weeks, and it affected, of course, a lot of altcoins as well, which made a new local swing low. Things that point to my eye here is Avalanche, AVAX, dropping further into my target area. I made an update yesterday. What else? Near Protocol dropped below very important support, which is amazing because this gives me an opportunity to buy more. One of my sell orders triggered, by the way, in that area. Chainlink dropped below very important support. Cosmos getting close to my target area. So it's looking amazing. Things working out as expected, because we expect on this channel another drop. You know that. And what is quite a little bit concerning, though, is that a lot of the altcoins are affected quite a lot. They couldn't really recover a lot when Bitcoin started to move up. So if we really expect Bitcoin to drop another 30% or something, wow, that will mean some crazy prices for some altcoins. But let's take a look at Bitcoin. What happened? So Bitcoin here, as you can see in this engulfing red candle on the hourly, dropped quite significantly, actually all the way to, well, the previous swing low. Yeah, that is the support level that I mentioned. If you lose 39.2, there'll probably be a bit of support around this area, around 38.5, because it's the previous swing low. So we dropped to that level. But what I really wanted to show you is, for that we go to the 4-hour chart. It is, yesterday was obviously the 24th of April. So let's take a look what happened actually on the 17th of April. There you go. We had a very similar move also around the weekly candle close. You can see it here. That was just happening before the weekly candle close. Those red, quite large red engulfing candles as well. What happened on the 10th? Here, there you go. From the 10th to the 11th as well. That was quite a bit of a sell-off that was triggered then. And you can see since then we've made a series of lower lows. From here, there, another lower low. And this was not a lower low, but a new local swing low. If you compare all of this together, and I told you yesterday that as long as we are here in that downtrend, that we can expect further lows until Bitcoin manages to break back into the channel and ideally moves above 40.6k. It would then make a local swing high, a higher high. For now, however, it has dropped actually. Now it's holding again above that 39.2k level of support. This is the red line that you can see here. We only dropped on the 4-hour temporarily below it. The 4-hour candle hasn't closed below it. And that is quite significant. What is significant though as well is that the weekly candle closed below for the first time. The weekly candle closed below this support level. We also have for the first time in 1.5 years, 4 red weekly candles in a row. Yeah, we looked at it yesterday. We only had really 3 red candles throughout. And the last time we had actually 4 was somewhere here around June 2020. So nearly 2 years. And I think it is quite significant that the weekly candle closed below the channel. We don't really have a lot of volume, but as soon as the stock markets open today, I think we're going to see here quite a bit of movement and volatility. That is on the weekly. If I go back, and by the way, also on the weekly, that is something we haven't looked at last week, that we had a bit of a bullish crossover. Now that has turned bearish again on the weekly. So that again is another bearish sign, or short-term bearish sign. Let's take a look on the daily here. And here as well, we had 4 red daily candles. And yesterday that was a bit of a doji candle, a bit of indecision going on. So pretty much a neutral one. And now today we started red again. So making here a series of actually lower lows on the daily candles, with the exception of that one doji candle. But this is now where it's really, the bulls and the bears are still fighting around that 39.2k level. It's not decided yet if we're going to drop. we made a new low, swing low that is significant, and the weekly candle closed below the channel. That is also quite significant. Now, still, we need to break that 39.2K level, and only when that is really broken, as you can see here how important it is to close it on the 4-hour chart, because here in the 4-hour, in the last 4-hour candle, we made it back above. So we're still back in that channel. So for our scenario, it is actually good that Bitcoin closed below that channel on the weekly. That means it has more and more difficulties to get back into the channel. That makes it much more likely that we're going to see here a continuation of the sell-off as we expected. And for now, however, we are still holding above the 39.2K level, and that level is so important to get below it to continue that sell-off. You can see we had some support at 38.5, but on the 4-hour we closed back above the 39.2. Next thing that I'm watching out for is really that candle close below 39.2. And you can see how relevant actually that level is, because we're now just holding at 39,208. But yeah, the next step that I expect would be that we continue our move down here to that wave 5 completion. That would be around 36K, yeah, maybe a little bit higher, because then we could say, right, maybe this was already the wave 1, this is the wave 2, or maybe this is the wave 2. We need to take a closer look at that later when we maybe see a little bit more candles, a little bit more structure here in that last wave. But it is currently looking like as if this here was the wave 4 high, and that we're now already in the wave 5. Showed you the alternative, which is that this here was the wave 3, this here was the wave 4, this here was the wave 5, means that this completed a wave 1, that this here could all be a wave 2 still. This is absolutely possible, so that you are having, let's say, all of this here was a wave 1, higher degree level wave 1, yeah. Basically we continued our, or we completed our first wave on the way down now. Then what we're gonna see here is a wave 2 here, which means that we could move up a little bit more before we eventually are going to turn down here in a wave 3. Yeah, so that alternative scenario would assume we haven't seen that wave 2 high yet. Yeah, and the wave 2 can move up quite a bit compared to the beginning of the wave 1, which means that we might only be here at the moment, and we don't know that, in an A, B, C. And again, that is probably something that nobody expects, and therefore that is not too unlikely. We just need to keep an eye on it, and I think that is getting possible and likely. Now put that on the table again as soon as we break back into the channel, and that would be above 40K. So we want to have it on the radar, because this scenario isn't dead. Yeah, I don't know if that 5th wave is complete yet, or if it's still coming. Nobody knows that. Yeah, this can only give us some orientation here in the charts. But I think this is still my primary one for now, because we are not in the channel again. We dropped out of the channel, closed for the first time the weekly candle below it, and we're currently just back below 39.2K again. But we want to do more than just be slightly below it. We want to close the 4-hour candle below that level, and currently in that current 4-hour we have another red candle, and we're currently just dropping. So as I said, this is now more likely because we didn't even get in that 4-hour or even on the daily or the weekly back into the channel. We retested the channel from below, and we're now heading down. Yeah, and that is currently here my view about Bitcoin. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, check out the channel membership. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter. You find the links in the description. And if you're interested, just published my first trading course, published week by week, a chapter of the course. And if you're interested, you can check it out on the website. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.